Alright everyone, this is a video on the 2017 World Series, so get all your trash can jokes out now. Even with the controversies, the 2017 World Series deserves to be mentioned for being some of the best and most entertaining baseball seen in World Series history. Everyone knows about the 2011 Game 6 heroics of David Freese, the Cubs breaking the 108-year Billy Goat's curse in Game 6 in 2016, and Kirk Gibson pumping his fists rounding the bases in Game 1 of the 1988 World Series. Will history remember the 2017 Astros for their incredible Games 2 and 5 against the Dodgers, or only as a scapegoat for a league-wide sign-stealing scandal? But I digress. Let's talk about the teams and their path to the Fall Classic. The Dodgers were 104-58, had the best record in all of MLB, and had a pitching rotation to be feared, leading MLB in WHIP and second in ERA. Headlined by MVP and three-time Cy Young Award winner Clayton Kershaw, and a lineup of young sluggers, including the 2017 Rookie of the Year Cody Bellinger and breakout player Justin Turner, as well as a couple of young stars like Torrey Seager, Chris Taylor, and Yasiel Puig. Their path to the World Series included going through their divisional rival, the Arizona Diamondbacks, by sweeping them in 3 games and then handling the reigning championship-winning Cubs with relative ease, where Kike Hernandez tied a major league record by hitting 3 home runs in 1 game, beating them in the series 4-1 as the Dodgers waited on who their challengers would be. And on this side of the ring, weighing in at 101 wins and 61 losses, is the Houston Astros, hoping to win it all for a city that was just devastated by Hurricane Harvey and give the city of Houston something to celebrate and win their first World Series in franchise history. Led by MVP winner and face of the franchise Jose Altuve and the most potent lineup in baseball, leading all of MLB in almost every single offensive category, with players like George Springer, Carlos Correa, Yuli Gurriel, Alex Bregman, and even Josh Reddick, and a rotation of starting pitchers that wasn't as good as the 2019 or even 2022 Astros, but just like the Dodgers had an MVP and multiple Cy Young Award winner in Justin Verlander, who they acquired last minute at the trade deadline from the Tigers. He would be worth every penny of his contract, winning all of the games as an Astro and rocking an ERA of 1.06 since his acquisition. Their path to face the Dodgers had them going through the most popular franchises in baseball, starting against Boston, where Altuve tied a major league record, hit 3 home runs in 1 game against Cy Young Award winner runner-up Chris Sale. The Astros ended up winning the series 3-1. Now against the Yankees, the Astros took an early 2-game lead, winning both home games, much thanks to this double by Carlos Correa, where Altuve tries to score as the winning run from first when he sees that Aaron Judge throws the ball to second instead of trying to get it home. And Altuve would be out by an actual mile if Gary Sanchez could hold on to the ball, but the Astros walk-off Aroldis Chapman, which would turn out to be a reoccurring theme later on. Anyways, the Yankees responded by having an offensive explosion back in the Bronx, scoring 19 runs across 3 games after only scoring 2 the previous 2 games. The Yankees led the series now 3-2, and the Astros needed some masterful pitching performances to win Games 6 and 7. And got exactly that. Also, fun fact, the series ended with 24 straight curveballs thrown by Lance McCullers Jr., as the victory was secured and the Astros were going to the World Series for only the 2nd time in franchise history. Okay, the stage is set. How would these 2 teams fare against each other? I'm going to talk mostly about Games 2, and especially Game 5. Game 1 was a matchup between a couple of Cy Young Award-winning lefties, Kershaw and Dallas Keuchel. Chris Taylor and the Dodgers immediately show that they mean business by hitting a home run as their first batter of the game. Later, in the 4th, Alex Bregman would get to Kershaw, but that would be the only run scored that night for Houston, as Kershaw managed to keep the jokes about postseason Kershaw quiet. But while we're here, let's look into some of these postseason Kershaw stats. Coming into play October 24th, Kershaw in the regular season could easily be described as the best pitcher in baseball. An easy way to tell how much a player dominated their generation of baseball is by going onto Baseball Reference and looking at all the bold numbers, meaning he led the league in that category. I mean, look at this stretch from 2011 to 2014, where he led the league in ERA and WHIP, winning himself 3 Cy Youngs, an MVP, and a second place Cy Young, in a year where he honestly should have beaten knuckleballer R.A. Dickey, but Dickey won 20 games that year, and that was the stat that mattered most for voters. Oh, and in 2017, he also finished second place in Cy Young voting. That's good for an ERA of 2.36 and a whip of 1, and 2,120 strikeouts in 1,935 innings pitched. Or, for those who don't follow stats, ridiculously good. But anyways, let's see where these numbers are when the games matter most. These are Kershaw's postseason stats coming into play before Game 1 against the Astros. Oh yeah, maybe this postseason Kershaw joke really isn't a joke. Some guys just don't got that dog in them. An ERA of 4.4 over 106.1 innings pitched? That's an ERA more than 2 runs higher through a decently large sample size. Maybe Kershaw was ready to put that narrative to rest after getting the dub in Game 1, after a 2-run homer by Justin Turner. Dodgers win the game 3-1 and lead the series 1-0. Buckle up. This is the first roller coaster of the series. Astros being down a game looked to tie the series up with Verlander on the mound. With all things considered, this was a must-win game. Trying to come back down 0-2 against this Dodgers team was just not an option the Astros wanted to think about. Scoring first this game would be the Astros, thanks to Bregman and some heads-up defense by Chris Taylor, as Bregman so far has the only 2 RBIs for the team this series. Verlander, on the other hand, was, well, normal Verlander, as he had a no-hitter going into the 5th inning, when Jock Peterson hit this hanging slider around for a home run as the first hit, and it was now a tied game. The very next inning, Verlander walked Taylor and gave up his second hit of the game, a 2-run home run. The Dodgers were now looking to win their second consecutive game 3-1, as the Astros struggled to score guys after getting on base, and the Dodgers getting all of their hits in the form of home runs. Heading into the 8th inning, the Astros had 5 walks and 4 hits compared to the Dodgers' 2 walks and 2 hits, but were losing this game 3-1, and they needed to score now before the Dodgers had a chance to bring in all-star closer Kenley Jansen. Let's take a look at Jansen's stats. Kenley Jansen would serve as the Dodgers' primary closer from 2012 all the way until 2022, racking up 350 saves in the process, but in all of his years, he was never as dominant as he was in 2017. Getting 5th in Cy Young voting as a reliever, he led the league with 41 saves and 42 opportunities, an ERA of just 1.32, an ERA plus of 315, and a whip below .75, winning the 2017 National League Reliever of the Year award. Or again, those who don't follow stats, really f***ing good. Look at it this way. In save opportunities, so when his team is leading by 3 runs or less in the 9th inning or later, his team wins 97.6% of the time. His one blown save that entire season came against the Braves when he gave up 3 runs in the 9th inning to blow a 4-1 lead. But the Dodgers won that game anyways, making it so that in all 42 games where he was brought in, the Dodgers won 100% of those games. The Astros, probably knowing all of this information, needed to score before Jansen got brought into this game, before the Dodgers take a 2-0 lead in the series. Alex Bregman starts things off in the 8th with a leadoff double down the right field line, just out of reach of Yasiel Puig, who shows visible anger after missing just what would have been a great play and a death sentence for the Astros. Instead, the Astros are in position to tie this game potentially with a big hit before Jansen gets brought in. But Dodgers manager Dave Roberts has seen enough of his reliever Brandon Morrow and decides to bring in Jansen anyways to try and convert a 2-inning save, even though he pitched the night previous. Something Jansen never did during the regular season. Maybe this was a bit reckless by Roberts, but if there was anyone in his bullpen he could trust to finish this game, it was Jansen, who immediately got Altuve to ground out, advancing the runner to third with only 1 out. But then he gave up a single to Correa, scoring a run and cutting the deficit to 3-2, but got out of the inning without further damage. After a clean bottom 8th by Joe Musgrove, it was Jansen on the mound again to face the bottom 3 hitters of the Astros lineup. Dodgers fans were basically already counting this game as good as over, ready to have a rest day tomorrow with a comfortable 2-0 lead. When this happened.
No inclination. Last Gonzalez hits one in the air to left center field. Back at the wall. It's gone.
I could do a whole video on this plate appearance, going over just how unlikely this was, how good Jansen was, how bad Marwin was, probabilities of a home run in an 0-2 count, everything. But the facts are, Marwin Gonzalez just took a cutter from Jansen that caught maybe too much of the plate over the center field wall. I'll go over the rest of the crazy moments from this series in the rest of the video, but in my opinion, this was the biggest hit. The championship win probability added from just that hit shifted in the Astros' favor 10 whole %. Marwin Gonzalez was the unlikely hero the Astros and the city of Houston needed. Life was back in the dugout. The crowd was stunned. The game was tied, but the Dodgers needed something to happen to get the momentum back in their favor. Jansen manages to escape the rest of the inning without more damage, but his night was finished. In the bottom of the ninth, the Astros brought in their closer, Ken Giles, who was also having a great year. Nowhere close to the level Kenley was having, but it was still the best of his career, and he earned himself the role. Although he had blown a few saves along the way. Anyways, yeah, the Dodgers end up winning this game after a home run by Rookie of the Year Cody Bellinger. When I was watching this game on TV, that's of course what I thought happened based on the camera and everyone's reaction. I mean, the camera guy had this ball going into the parking lot. Astros fans all collectively let out the biggest sigh of relief in franchise history. Even more than 2 years later on this Didi Gregorius ball hit off of Garrett Cole in Yankee Stadium. Also, listen to this reaction by Matt Vasgersian on this Shohei Ohtani fly ball another 3 years later.
Shohei, high drive to right. Not quite enough.
I guess I just really like plays where the broadcasters get excited only to watch a fly out a couple feet short of something great. Maybe that says something about me, but whatever, back to the game. Headed into the 10th inning, the Dodgers decided to bring in Josh Fields. Needed to face the heart of the Houston Astros lineup, Jose Altuve, Carlos Correa, and Yuli Gurriel. Let's see how this goes.
Altuve to left center field, back in the wall, and it's gone. Jose Altuve. Easier than trying to score two, and now the Astros are ahead. Here's one into left center field off the bat of Correa. Altuve and Correa go back to back. Yuli Gurriel. It's a laser into left center field, and that's going to go to the wall. Gurriel has got a double with nobody out here in the 10th.
So yeah, Josh Fields faced 3 batters, gave up 2 home runs, and then a double. Then got taken out of the game. Just another day for good old Josh Fields. While we're talking about him, it would be good to mention he used to play for the Astros just the season previous. But he got traded to the Dodgers for a prospect from Cuba named Yordan Alvarez.
Then to try to close it on a Tuesday. Alvarez launches deep right field, and this one is gone! And the Astros walk them off in game 1. On a 2-1, Alvarez hits a high drive center field. Beerling's back. This game is turned upside down.
Yeah, that Yordan Alvarez. I'm sure that won't go down as one of the worst trades ever, but maybe that would be for a future video. The new reliever for the Dodgers managed to get out of the inning clean, but now the Dodgers needed to come back from a 2-run deficit to tie the game at 5. Astros manager A.J. Hinch decided to keep Giles in for the game to face the bottom half of the Dodgers lineup.
Watching what the rest is. Puig hits one and tongue to left. It's a 1-run game.
Yeah, Yasuel Puig took all of his anger out from missing that Bregman double and deposited it into the seats. AJ Hinch still kept Giles in the game for whatever reason, who gave up another run to the Dodgers after a walk, wild pitch, and a single to Kike Hernandez, blowing a 2-run lead. Hinch decides now to take out Giles and bring in backup closer Chris Davinsky to record the last out of the 10th. To the 11th we go. Cameron Maybin was an Astro for the 2017 postseason. Do you remember that? I really don't. But he gets on first with a leadoff single and steals second to get into scoring position for the Dodger menace George Springer.
It is 2-1. To Springer. That's into right center field. Well hit. Will be caught. Is gone from home run.
Spoiler alert, he hits a lot of home runs against the Dodgers this series. The Astros are now in the exact same situation as last inning, needing to hold on to a 2-run lead against the Dodgers lineup that just refuses to give up. Davinsky stays in the game to close this one out for good, right?
Here's a high fly ball into left. Back at the wall. It is gone.
Charlie Culberson hits a game-tying home run that takes the game into the 12th inning. Wait, no, actually they're still down by a run. You would really think how he celebrates rounding the bases that this game was either just won or tied up. Puig strikes out after getting bailed on a check swing call, and the Astros have won their first World Series game ever. Luckily for the sake of both Dodger fans and Astro fans, there was less drama the next 2 games in Houston. In Game 3, the Astros attack World Series MVP Yu Darvish for 4 runs in the second inning, and that would be all the runs needed as they win 5-3 on the back of some great pitching performances by Lance McCullers Jr. and especially Brad Peacock. And then the next day, it was a close game. A great pitching performance by my uncle Charlie Morton, with a home run by Springer, told you he'd hit a lot. It was a tied game going into the 9th, and it looked like we were going to get another action-packed extra inning extravaganza. But all it takes is Ken Giles literally blowing up, and the Dodgers scored 5 runs in the 9th, and then bring in Jansen with a 5-run cushion just to make sure the Astros can't do the same. Although Bregman would hit a home run off of Jansen to give him something to remember going into the future. As the series was tied 2 games apiece, winning Game 5 was crucial to both teams. No team wants to be in position to be 1 loss away from being eliminated. This would be a rematch for the Game 1 starters, Dallas Keuchel and Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw looked to win again after his great first game and disprove the narrative that he can't pitch in the postseason. And Keuchel is looking to have another quality start, but hopefully he'll get more run support this time. One thing is definitely true for sure. This was going to be a low-scoring affair, right? In the top of the first inning, Keuchel, the normally well-controlled finesse pitcher, gives up a base hit and walks a couple batters to load the bases with only 1 out. He manages to get a huge strikeout of Cody Bellinger to hopefully make the Dodgers leave the bases loaded without any damage being done. But the normally solid defense by the Astros lets Keuchel down here. A hard-hit line drive single by Logan Forsythe to the left fielder Marwin Gonzalez should have only scored a single run and left the bases remain full. But the utility outfielder misplays the ball and allows a second run to score as well as the runner on second to advance to third. On the very next play, Keuchel picks off Forsythe, but a bad throw by Gurriel allows the runner at third to score. Already a 3-run lead for the Dodgers with their ace on the mound, Kershaw looked sharp, retiring the first 9 Astros in order, and Keuchel got himself back in trouble in the 4th inning after giving up a double to Forsythe, then an RBI single to Austin Barnes. After giving up yet another single, Keuchel's night was done, leaving the game 4-0. At this moment, the Astros only have a projected 13% chance to come back. And against Kershaw looking as dominant as he was, fans were probably thinking that a comeback was even less likely. That was until the bottom half of the same inning. After a leadoff walk to Springer and a single by Altuve, Kershaw finds himself in his first high-leverage situation this whole series. Correa scores the Astros' first run of the game with a double to left field and brings the tying run to the plate. And with two guys on in scoring position, the 33-year-old rookie from Cuba, Yuli Gurriel, is looking to bring this game back within reach.
Second and third, one out.
Gurriel is all over this first pitch slider that catches too much of the zone and puts it into the Crawford boxes, bringing the life back to Minute Maid Park. Let's check the Hall of Fame cam for Nolan Ryan and Craig Biggio's reaction. Yeah, everyone knew off the bat where this ball was going. This has been a confirmed postseason Kershaw moment. The new pitcher for the Astros, Colin McHugh, starts the next inning with back-to-back walks. Now, if you're new to baseball, you never want to give back-to-back walks. Stepping up to the plate is Cody Bellinger, looking for redemption after striking out his first two at-bats.
High fly ball into right. Back at the wall. It's gone.
If you pause, you can see the exact moment where Astro fans' hearts break. Just as this crowd was getting back into the game, stunned. The Astros would need another big hit to get back into it. Let's fast forward all the way to the bottom half of the same inning. Kershaw gets the first two outs in the inning, but facing the top of the lineup gives up back-to-back walks. And if you're new to baseball, you never want to give back-to-back walks. Dave Roberts sees where this is going and takes Kershaw out of the game before you could have another postseason Kershaw moment. With the 2017 MVP coming up to the plate, Roberts brings in Kenta Maeda, who's been perfect so far this postseason, pitching 9 clean innings. But what can someone's game plan be when facing an MVP? Let's watch how Maeda goes after Altuve here. First pitch slider that Altuve swings over the top of, clearly hunting a fastball. Second pitch is an outside slider that Altuve doesn't bite. Pitch 3, a changeup in the dirt, still no bite. Altuve now ahead in the count, pitch 4, a changeup in the zone that he manages to foul off. There's a quick conference on the mound to agree on a plan of attack. Pitch 5, another outside slider. Altuve still showing no interest. Now, with a full count, Altuve has yet to see a fastball, which, by the way, Maeda threw 34.2% of the time in 2017. Everyone in Minute Maid Park now on their feet, chance of MVP can be heard. Pitch 6 is another changeup that Altuve is all over, but just a little early and crushes it foul. And with Altuve not swinging at the breaking balls away, and being all over that last changeup, it was now time for the first fastball of the at-bat. Yeah, good goal, Buck. That was unbelievable. For the second time in the game, the Astros managed to tie the game with a 3-run home run. Here's a fact, only one player has more home runs in the postseason than Altuve's 23, and that would be Manny Ramirez with 29. A record to look out for. Kershaw's final line for the night would be 4.2 innings pitched, 4 walks, 3 hits, and 6 earned runs. The broadcast keeps going back to him in the dugout, defeated. But this game was far from over. Nothing happens in the 6th inning as the teams agree to settle down for a while, give fans a moment to appreciate this game that was unfolding in front of them. Now the top of the 7th starts off with a leadoff double by Justin Turner that misses being a home run by just a couple of feet. Kike tries to bunt the runner over to third with less than 1 out, but messes it up and bunts the ball too hard to Peacock, who throws out Turner at third base. Now Bellinger is up to bat, and in an 0-2 count chases a fastball out of the zone but manages to hit a line drive to center. Springer should just let this ball bounce and get it in quick and have guys on first and second with 1 out. Instead, he tries to be a hero and lets this ball roll all the way to the wall, and Bellinger gets an RBI triple, although Peacock flexes his colors a little bit and strands the runner on third. Brandon Morrow comes in for the Dodgers and has to face the top of the Astros lineup. But more importantly, he has to face George Springer, looking to redeem himself for that defensive error he just made.
High fly ball, goodbye. One pitch to Springer, and we're tied again.
That was the hardest and furthest ball hit all night, over the train tracks. That would be a home run in 100% of ballparks. At 112 miles per hour off the bat and 450 feet, Morrow doesn't even watch it. It's safe to say that Springer was ready for that middle fastball. For the third time, the Astros responded immediately to the Dodgers scoring by hitting a game-tying home run. Next batter, Bregman, would hit a first pitch slider. Next batter, Altuve, would hit another middle fastball and pitch 2 for a double, just over the reach of left fielder Jock Peterson, scoring Bregman, who had a great reaction. Next batter, Carlos Correa, on the second pitch,
He lifts it into left, down the line. Come on!
yeah, remember that home run by George Springer? The one that 100% of the time is a home run? This ball hit by Correa is a Crawford box special. That ball had an expected batting average of 110 and is only a home run in one ballpark. Watch how long this ball is in the air before Correa knows it's a home run. That's what a 48-degree launch angle and 106 mile per hour off the bat will do. And after only 6 pitches and 4 runs later, Brandon Morrow's night is over. I mean, hey, at least there's always tomorrow. But in all seriousness, there are plate appearances that last longer than 6 pitches. I took out my stopwatch and timed it at exactly 6 minutes from the first pitch to Springer when the Dodgers were winning 8-7 to Correa's ball landing in the Crawford boxes, giving the Astros a 3-run lead. I imagine that there were many fans watching this game live who went to the bathroom and maybe got a couple of hot dogs, only to come back and see the box score in a completely different state from when they left 6 minutes ago. Remember earlier in the first, when the Astros had a 13% chance to win? They were now sitting at a 94% chance to win Game 5 and go back to Los Angeles up 3-2 in the series. Well, it's been the Astros all night having to battle uphill. Now having their first lead of the night, let's see how the Dodgers handle the pressure. Jock Peterson hits a ball with an even lower expected batting average than the one Correa hit. This time, a .02 expecting batting average, or just a 2% chance that ball lands for a base hit. The Crawford box giveth, the Crawford box taketh away. And Corey Seager is able to double, scoring Jock, making it 11-9 Astros. In the bottom half of the inning, the Astros did what they've been doing all night, responding to the Dodgers scoring by hitting a home run, this time by catcher Brian McCann. Astros maintained their 3-run lead heading into the 9th inning, ready to close out this incredible game. Chris Davinsky is pitching instead of Ken Giles because he blew up the game yesterday. He pitches around Bellinger, but manages to strike out Forsythe, bringing up Yasiel Puig.
That is hooked down into the corner at the wall. It's gone.
Another Crawford box special. This time with an expected batting average of 340, so nothing crazy. That was because of the lower launch angle than the Correa or Peterson batted balls. But it's still not a home run in most other ballparks. Dodgers needed to still get another run with only 2 outs in the game to work with. Austin Barnes is able to stretch this line drive into a double, now in scoring position. Peterson grounds out. 1 out left. Tying run at third. 1 strike away from losing. Taylor delivers and gets a base hit up the middle. Tie game. Dave Roberts goes to his guy Kenley Jansen in the bottom of the 9th inning, who gets a quick 2 outs, but gives up this double to Gurriel, who almost just hit a walk-off home run, but gets stranded at second base. AJ Hinch brings in starting pitcher Big Game Joe Musgrove out of the pen to try and get a clean inning and head to the bottom of the 10th with a shot to walk it off. He does exactly that, only giving up an opposite field single to Andre Ethier. Dave Roberts decides to keep in Jansen in a second inning even though he pitched the day before, something that he tried in Game 2 and we remember happened then. Let's see what happens this time. He gets the first 2 outs without trouble, now facing Brian McCann, who hit a home run his last time up. Let's watch how Jansen goes after McCann. Cutter. 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 You've got to be kidding me. That ball was so close to ending the game and making McCann the hero. Jansen throws another cutter that just hits McCann after that one. So McCann will happily take his base and allow the top of the lineup to try again. Jansen gives up a walk to Springer, and with basically a hit by pitch being a walk, that makes it so Jansen gave up back-to-back walks. And for those who are new to baseball, you never want to give back-to-back walks. Coming up to the plate now is the guy who homered off him yesterday and just needed to get a base hit to score the speedy Derek Fisher who pinch ran for McCann.
2 on, 2 out. 10th inning. That's in the air to left. Here comes Fisher.
Look at the win probability chart from this game. They aren't supposed to look like this. 8 times this game, the win probability moved 20% after just 1 at-bat. The top 5 plays by win probability added goes like this. Bregman's walk-off single being the highest at 39, Altuve's home run, Chris Taylor's game-tying single in the 9th, and then a couple big hits by Bellinger. This list doesn't even include the 3-run game-tying home run by Gurriel, which some people would consider the biggest moment of the whole game. In terms of high-scoring, back-and-forth action, there hasn't been a game like this in World Series history. That's what makes this game so magical. That's what made it so an 18-year-old me decided to post this to my 5 followers on Twitter. And I was right. I haven't watched a game better since. The Astros would go on to lose Game 6 in LA with Verlander on the mound, but win Game 7 after scoring 5 runs off of World Series MVP Yu Darvish to win the World Series for the first time in Astros franchise history. Thanks for watching.